There is a shift that happens quietly, almost unnoticed, when you move from understanding the system to becoming part of it. And in that phase, your decisions begin to feel different, sharper, more intentional, because now you are no longer reacting to results. You are predicting them, anticipating how a viewer will behave before they even click, before they even watch. And this predictive awareness is what transforms your content from reactive creation into strategic execution. Because at this level, you start to realize that every successful video is built twice. Once in the mind and once on the screen, and the version that exists in your mind is far more important because that is where structure is designed, where tension is planned, where curiosity is engineered. And if that mental blueprint is weak, no amount of editing or polishing can fully fix it later. This is why ideation becomes a process, not a moment of inspiration, because strong ideas are not random. They are constructed, tested mentally, evaluated for potential, for curiosity, for emotional pull, and the best creators spend more time thinking about what to create than actually creating it, because a powerful idea reduces the effort needed in execution while increasing the potential for impact. And then there is the hook, not just the first line, but the first impression as a whole, the combination of title, thumbnail, and opening seconds working together as a single unit. Because if even one part of that system is weak, the entire entry point collapses and the viewer never fully enters your content in the first place. But beyond the hook, there is something deeper, the promise of progression, the feeling that the video is going somewhere meaningful, that it is building towards something, because when viewers sense direction, they stay longer, they invest more attention, they commit to the experience. But when a video feels directionless, even if the information is useful, engagement slowly fades. This is why narrative framing is so powerful, even in non-story content, because framing your ideas as a journey, a sequence, a progression creates structure that the brain can follow, and that structure reduces cognitive load while increasing engagement, making the video easier to watch and harder to leave. At the same time, your awareness of audience behavior becomes more refined. You begin to notice not just when people leave, but why they leave, what triggered that exit, what moment broke the flow. And this level of detail allows you to make precise adjustments, small changes that can significantly improve retention. And these small changes compound, because improving retention even slightly increases the likelihood of further distribution, which increases views, which increases engagement, creating a feedback loop where optimization leads to growth, and growth provides more data for further optimization. But here's where things become more complex, because as your reach expands, your audience becomes more diverse, and with that diversity comes variation in expectations, attention spans, and interests. And your content must be adaptable enough to engage this wider audience without losing its core identity. This is where clarity becomes your anchor, because no matter how broad your reach becomes, your message must remain clear, focused, and consistent, ensuring that even new viewers can quickly understand what your content offers and why it is worth their time. And then there is the concept of energy distribution, how you allocate intensity across your video. Because if everything is high energy, it becomes exhausting. And if everything is low energy, it becomes boring. But when you create contrast, moments of intensity followed by moments of calm, you create rhythm, and rhythm keeps attention stable. At this stage, your editing decisions become more psychological than technical. You are no longer just cutting footage. You are shaping perception, controlling how information is revealed, how emotions are triggered, how attention flows from one moment to the next. And this level of control allows you to guide the viewer's experience almost invisibly, making the video feel natural while being highly structured beneath the surface. And this invisible structure is what gives high-performing content its smooth, effortless feel. But even with all of this, there is still uncertainty, still variability, because the system is dynamic, constantly evolving, constantly adapting to user behavior, and this means that your approach must also evolve, must remain flexible, must continue to learn and adjust. And this is why the most successful creators are not just content makers. They are constant learners, observers, analysts, people who treat every video as both an opportunity and an experiment, gathering data, refining strategy, improving execution. Because in the end, mastery is not a fixed state. It is a continuous process, a cycle of creation, observation, and improvement. And the creators who embrace this process are the ones who sustain growth over time. And once you fully step into this mindset, once you start creating with awareness instead of assumption, with intention instead of guesswork, your content begins to change in ways that are immediately noticeable, not just to you, but to your audience, to the algorithm, to the entire system. Because at that point, you are no longer just uploading videos, you are designing experiences, engineering attention, and building something far more powerful than individual content. You are building a system that knows how to grow.